All right, welcome to Walking After Whiskey. I'm Shorty.
I'm Travis. We're going to break down your latest episode of The Walking Dead tonight.
We're also going to break down some kick-ass whiskey, either top shelf or shit.
Or well, the same thing, shit, well whiskey.
We don't want shit whiskey, by the way.
What we're breaking down tonight is More Than Bourbon Whiskey. It should be really good. It's brewed here in the Bay Area. Distilled, sorry.
And waiting on that show.
Right we are. And what episode are we breaking down tonight, Shorty?
We are breaking down episode 9, season 1.
It's finally here.
Finally here. Super great episode 2.
Absolutely.
Hope you all feel the same.
All right, guys. Let's get to this review.
Cheers, darling.
Cheers to that. Before we start, we just like to give a special shout out to a fallen survivor.
So Scott Wilson, RIP, you were like my first shocking Walking Dead death. So much love to his friends and family. Great addition to the show. Super sorry to see you go.
Yeah, he had the sword to the neck with by the governor in season 4. So, but he brought on this this methodical pattern where when a survivor gets the light, they see the brightness, they kind of uplift people in the show, you know they're going to go. So it's kind of a sad formula they got going,
Absolutely.
But he was the first.
And how great is it that this episode, Maggie's son is named Herschel. So I think that's such a cool kind of thing that probably nobody expected.
Right.
So.
So
All right, let's break it down.
The first thing we're going to talk about, I want to talk about, is the animosity in the group. You can feel it right when the show starts.
Between Sanctuary, everybody split up. Everybody split up. Like
yeah.
Maggie's someplace and split up. So kind of uncomfortable. Kind of uncomfortable to deal with.
To quote South Park, it's a fractured butthole.
Nice.
So they're all together, but you can tell there's a lot of animosity. Obviously, with the last episode of last season, we've seen the animosity towards Rick. Kind of some seeds being planted. You can already tell that Daryl's upset. You can already tell that Michonne's kind of already looking up Rick's back,
right.
Needlessly. So it's kind of weird what's going on right now.
And where you feel that is that Sanctuary. Like they visit the Sanctuary, and Daryl's uncomfortable. Like everyone's uncomfortable. Like Rick now has this status that he doesn't know how to deal with. He's used to dealing with on a smaller level, but now all of a sudden it's like rock star status.
Yeah, so they come home to a hero's rescue, like almost like Caesar returning to Rome. Like people didn't like the way that Negan ruled, and so when he got there, he was very well received. But you could tell that some people weren't that happy to have Rick there, and we actually seen some signs on the wall that not everybody was on board with this.
Which kind of stops. Like that's the epic part of that whole scene, right?
Yes.
Is you see like I am still Negan is still on the wall, so that's like the you know something's going to happen now. You know something's going to happen in the Sanctuary.
Some
so
bad
it's
blood.
kind of exciting.
And they even mentioned themselves, like Daryl says, he's all nothing grows here. It's the factory. Like they can't help themselves. Are we supposed to keep feeding these people? And Rick says he's like, well, now we do it willingly. And
but also Rick doesn't acknowledge the fact that Daryl went through hell there.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't acknowledge. He just wants Daryl to run with it.
Yep.
Like doesn't acknowledge his feelings, doesn't acknowledge what happened to him. And we don't even all see what happened to him there.
Sure.
So like he doesn't acknowledge that, and he wants out. Like you see that he wants out. So
yeah, and Daryl's he keeps his feelings in, but he was not quiet about the shit that went down.
Not at all.
Sure.
Not at all.
Those
Not
shit
at all.
sandwiches were not just for him.
And you also don't get so. I must have rewound, and I actually put on closed caption what Daryl says to Rick when they're chatting.
Right.
He says, "I get it." So what does that exactly mean? That's a big open thing. Like I get it. Like I get that you have to do this. I get that. It's crazy. Like it's a kind of a big deal.
And they want Daryl to be a leader immediately. Daryl's not a leader. He's kind of like a doer. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Absolutely. He doesn't want any kind of glamour, especially with these people who made his life shit.
Absolutely.
So you guys get falling out with Rick a little bit. You can already tell that the team is fracturing.
Yep.
So let's move on to we start seeing Maggie become super vindicated as she just been voted in as the leader of the Hilltop.
So proud of Maggie. Proud of Maggie.
Please speak on it.
I have to say, Maggie goes through many seasons without ever being pregnant, so let's acknowledge that, right? Because that's kind of a thing. It's kind of a thing, right? Like she never gets pregnant. She is never pregnant whatsoever. But they do such a good job with her. Like you already feel her power coming on.
Oh, yeah.
And then when she gets to just tell Rick, like, you got to follow me now. Like you got to follow. Like that's epic. Like you see something's going to happen with that.
Sure.
So and especially with the hidden being, it's his last season. You get that. You get that she's coming into power and she's going to take her place.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we mentioned earlier that with Rick and I'm sorry, with Daryl and Maggie and Jesus are kind of like plotting against Rick since last season. And it's funny, we're having Jesus turn Judas in this whole episode, so I don't know how that's going to flip around, but Maggie and Daryl have both shown their distaste for Rick.
Yeah,
Openly towards him.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Very much when she says Rick, time to go home, time to take Lilith in, very kind of like foreshadowing for sure.
Yeah, and I think we have to like kind of throw out like to the audience, like what do you all think is going to happen to Rick? Like there's never been a season ever that says this person's going. This person's going. Like I'll be honest, I never even watched the Glenn episode because I can't do it. I can't do it.
We're watching it.
No.
We're gonna watch it.
I would be a blubbering idiot who can't even, unconsolable blubbering idiot.
Right.
I can't do it. But you see that, like already they're setting it up. They've never done that before.
Well, kind of with Carl a little bit. Like we knew Carl was leaving, you know, but we knew like 5 episodes in.
Drama for sure. Like you saw that coming.
Yeah.
But
and so she's thinking he's gonna have an epic zombie death. I'm thinking he's gonna ride off in the sunset and just go away.
I think that Negan's gonna take him out. Negan, you don't see him in this episode. You see him for a glimpse in a cell, right? That's all that you see. I think somehow Negan's gonna take him out.
Let's talk about one big killing that we see. Maggie flexing her power. Somebody got the news.
And for once, the one thing about the show, right? All your villains, they don't die quick.
Oh yeah.
Nobody ever takes them out quick, right? And for once, I so love that Maggie just took him by the balls and hung him. Like, and it wasn't like I really thought that what was going to happen was she was going to cut him down. I really thought that was going to happen. But finally, she takes him by the balls, hangs his ass. He got what he deserved.
So in the comic books, this is just a little contrast. He tries to poison Maggie, and in the show now, he tried to actually flat out stab her in the chest. She caught the knife. She fought him off, and basically said, "But sun up, you're out of here," or "Sun down, you're out of here." He hung him for the rest of the new building out there, and he swung, and he cried like a little bitch the whole time. So it was a great death. Gregory's a great actor, and he did very well in the position. But I can't help but notice that it felt very forced. Like a lot of things in this episode just felt very not organic. Everything felt kind of like it was part of a formula, and nothing seemed very. And
there has to be some kind of a something where the children ended up seeing, right? There's a lot of children's references, like the kids got to go to bed early, like all that, and then all of a sudden kids see that happen. So that's like a kind of a little twisted thing on the show. I don't know if I necessarily agreed that needed to happen, but
there's a lot of kids.
Yeah, a lot of kids references. So
well, good review. Let's get to the whiskey review.
I'll finish this. Whiskey review.
Welcome everyone to the beverage tasting part of the episode.
The best part?
We're going to review Moreland's Bourbon Whiskey today. It's distilled here in Novato, California, not too far from here, about 15 miles away. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It's a very good bourbon. Shorty, what do you think?
I think it's great. I want to acknowledge too that they were actually at my beer fest, Booze and Brews, 2 years ago.
Awesome.
So I gotta give Moreland some love with Marin Brewing Company. The one thing, so we talked about this a minute ago. This would be Carol's shot for sure because it's kind of sweet. Like it's got a little coconut, it's got some sweetness to it. This would be Carol's shot for sure. So that's what I know.
We should drink this. Obviously, Moreland's they make beer, they make a rye whiskey, they make a lot of good bourbons. I like this bourbon. It's one of my favorites. Vanilla at the touch of the first taste, a little pepper and spice in the back. I'm not feeling Carol. This one's kind of a sneakier bourbon. I'm thinking Carol's more like it. She doesn't like you. She'll just tell you or she'll kill you or bake cookies and then kill you.
It could. It's got.
This is very much a sneaky ass Gregory whiskey to me.
And they tote some coffee notes.
Yes.
So a little bit of coffee in there, but definitely coconut, definitely a little on the sweeter side. So I'm not normally a bourbon drinker. I can drink this no problem.
Awesome.
Delicious.
Good.
I like it. And that's why I think Carol with her cookies. That's why I think Carol with her cookies.
I was the woman power with this woman, but you're right. You're absolutely right, though. It is definitely a sexy golden color, like a bourbon should be. Tasty and sweet up front. You still with the coconut notes, and absolutely, I love it.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Alrighty.